If you're planning to make a big impression at one of the largest car shows on the planet, you're going to need an impressive machine. This vehicle certainly is that, and it's currently in the care of Sean, owner of high-end vehicle storage and concierge facility, Autopia.
The owner of this car wanted to take a car to SEMA, and he wanted it to be something that everyone would talk about. He started with not a great 65 Mustang. It needed a ton of work, metal work. It needed everything. And that was the idea, was to start with a low-dollar donor car. You weren't ruining a car that should have been preserved. The most expensive element is all the hand fabrication work that was done to the body. Honestly, parts just sitting on the floor of your garage, not putting anything together yet, you're already in hundreds of thousands of dollars. All the internals were rebuilt. It's all forged stuff. It's a compound charged car with a supercharger, also twin turbos. You talk about 10,000 hours of work that went into this car to ultimately create what we call Vicious Mustang.
This quest for perfection led to a final price tag of $1 million. And you can forget material comforts. This vehicle is a no expense spared, performance-focused beast.
This car has no air conditioning in it, it has no heater in it, it has no stereo in it. It has very little heat treatment or sound deadening, so the sounds you hear are incredible. This splitter here is all metal. You've got cool intakes here to bring air. The Forge Line wheels fit this car perfectly. Even little details like this, where they went, instead of leaving the brake, they went with Vicious on it. And they matched the paint exact to this, which this color is called Vicious Titanium Silver. They actually gave it its own name. The bubble on top of the hood, that's for the supercharger. It's a costly piece of equipment going on under the hood. The interior on this car, again, everything was race themed, but there's still some beauty in here. I love the simplicity down here as far as the buttons go. And some wonderful leather. Instead of having a traditional gauge cluster, it's a Motec onboard management system. You can program the screen to show you whatever you want if you just wanted to have tack or tack and speed. And that's something you'll see in most race cars. It's a sequential 6-speed transmission from EMCO, very similar to what you see in a lot of GT3 race cars. But rather than wanting to shift with a stick, the option was to go with paddles. The shifts are programmed at 2.5 milliseconds, which is just extreme. By the time you're letting go of the paddle, your head's already gone like that and the shift has already happened. You barely lose any RPM. You'll go through the gears really fast. It's like this epic event every time you take this car out for a drive. We haven't tested 0 to 60 speed. We're guessing it should be in the high 2s, 2.8, 2.9, somewhere around there. It's detuned 30% from what the max would be on this car. It's making 1,003 horsepower at the rear wheels. If we completely uncorked the tune, we could probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,250 at the wheel. Honestly, 1,000 horsepower at the rear wheels, a lot for a street car. But it just had to be in that power range. Top speed, we don't know yet because we haven't actually had enough open road for it. It should be able to do somewhere around 230 miles an hour. It really is a radical, extreme race car. That was the intent, and that's what was accomplished with this. This is not a, hey, let's go for a comfortable drive at any time, even at speed limit, just cruising in this thing. It's always extreme.